Hey guys, I am Big and Scary. I'm bringing you another StarCraft 2 replay, this time featuring in our bottom right hand corner Dembski, our red Terran, and in the top left we have EchO.Todes, our blue Zerg. He is in Masters. I'm assuming Dembski is also in Masters because we're on Ohana and we're red versus blue, which tells me that this is on the ladder. It's called Logic, son. It's fun. It's fun. It's fun, and this is going to be a Terran versus Zerg, so it's also going to be fun. I'm expecting to see a lot of back and forth in the mid-game, maybe some early aggression from Zerg, and maybe some early drop play from Terran, but besides that, only time will tell. It really depends on the personal play style of both people. EchO.Todes is from Team Echo, so I've seen several of his games already. He seems to favor a very heavy harassment style play, relying on low tech like Zerglings and maybe a little bit of roaches, but mostly Zerglings, and just absolutely wrecking havoc with their high speed and multiple angles of aggression, getting some really good surrounds. Relies a lot on harassing units, maybe some Mutalisks, maybe some Zerglings. Definitely allows the situation to dictate what path he decides to move on. Dembski has not grabbed any early gas. Doesn't look like he's going for some sort of shenanigans. With the barracks placed on the high ground, he's going to be getting a supply depot right next to that to complete the wall off. Then we'll really see what path his build decides to take. We're well past the 200 mineral mark. No early gas out of Dembski in the last two games that I've seen. He's going extractor first, followed by supply depot or bonding pool. Tells me that he's going for this early expansion. Could have just looked at the mini-map to see the giant blue box, but logic again. Hatchery down on the low side, just just because he hasn't moved out with his drone at all, not even to scout the front door. He knows that most Terran at this level can do this sort of play where you throw down the supply depot and then immediately cancel the production on it, but leave the carcass there so that the drone can't move up, and then immediately once the barracks is done, the SCV decides to finish off that one, and the SCV that was going to initially build that supply depot moves off to do a nice little scout. Oh, and it goes just to the north of the base. Unfortunately, the placement of it is within range of the vision. I'm not sure if that's from, I think that's from the Overlord, because normally if it was just the hatchery, it wouldn't be able to see that bunker, which explains the placement. But with 4 drones going to town on that bunker, it's going to get either canceled or you can't let it finish. I mean, it's going to go down in just a couple of seconds. Is the SCV still alive? It is still alive, but not for long. With the surrounds going to go instantly on it too. Oh, it gets canceled down. The bunker goes down, and it's got to cancel in just a couple of seconds. Otherwise, this Marine's going to arrive and get inside of it. But it's burning down already. Yeah, there goes the cancel. Good play there by EchO.Todes, having the Overlord within range of that hatchery just to scout out. The placement of the bunker was pretty top drawer, I'm not going to lie, but with the Marine arriving on field, just trying desperately to take down that Overlord before it makes to safety behind the mineral line. But the first round of Zerglings are out, and that's going to be another net loss for Dembski. I apologize, he's not dumb. He's a good player. He's a very good player. He's in Masters. He's in. So, command center going down on the low ground with the bunker. A much better placement for the bunker. I really prefer it over here in the corner, just because it's even less of a surround that those Zerglings can get. But this kind of protects your mineral line just a little bit more. Yeah, the probes and Zerglings can still squeeze through here on the right side, but it definitely affords a little bit of added protection to the SCVs, especially as the larger structure and units make it out onto the field. Still no gas out of EchO.Todes. Maybe he's thinking about taking his own third, definitely working on these destructible debris. So probably thinking about taking that third. He's going to begin banking up a bunch of money and also working on that saturation. 26/20 right now in the favor of EchO.Todes, but with the third command center going out and the natural being warped into a orbital command down on the low ground, his own economy is going to be kicking up into high gear, and now we finally see the build begin to take effect for Dembski. He's got his double gas, and he's also got a reactor on his barracks, which means that the reactor is going to be used for the factory. So maybe some Hellions going to be coming out of that. Another one, far more unlikely for that, would be a starport, and then for the reactor, a bunch of medevacs. But we'll see if he throws down a lot of barracks behind this this play. Oh, there we go. A heavy bioplay coming out of Dembski. Probably going to get a couple Hellions out just to use Ohana's very open map style, just to allow those Hellions to get in there, do a little bit of harassment, especially here at the third, maybe up at the natural, but unlikely because of that spine crawler. But really, that factory is only going to get 1 or 2 rounds of Hellions out, and then it's going to switch up and allow the starport to use that reactor instead. There goes the tech lab on that barracks. Is going to begin working on probably combat shields, though if it is if it's going to be a more of an aggressive timing coming out of Dembski, we might see the stem. Look for the engineering bay too, because he's got an awful lot of gas saved up, and he's not going to be spending it on anything. Remember, those Hellions cost only minerals, and with are there any add-ons on these barracks? Watch for that too. There goes. Good job, Dembski. 2 reactors for that. So where's this gas going? He's got 2 gas geysers going. He's going to get a 3rd and 4th down here at the natural, I'm sure, in short order. But the only thing he's spending gas on right now is this tech lab, because everything else that's coming out of this is very mineral rich. So what's that extra gas going to be used on? We need another tech building. We need some engineering bays. We need something like what EchO.Todes is doing, which is getting up double Evo chambers right down to complete that wall off, and little else. Where he's got 4 gas geysers total, and he's taking that 3rd and only is relying on Zerglings right now, and those Zerglings are going to have a very hard time against so many of these Hellions. There goes the starport right on top of the factory, so it's going to be using that reactor as soon as the starport finishes. In fact, the factory, once it finishes with that last round of Hellions, lifts off. These Hellions are going to do a lot of damage to EchO.Todes' mainly Zergling army, especially to the economy if they can manage to sneak in. And with that side ramp open, maybe those Hellions are thinking about pulling that, but they have to be very careful when they step onto the creep. Look at so many of these queens out in the field right now. They're going to be affording quite a lot of defense, and are really going to make the creep spread ridiculous, because he doesn't need nearly as many queens as he has. 5 queens right now for only 3 bases. Actually, 6 queens. Wow. A lot of queens and a lot of gas. He's getting this 6th extractor. And check out this overlord placement from EchO.Todes. Very defensive in nature. He's keeping them off to the right side and the left side of the ramp, and that's mainly because of this right here. These starports, which are going to be making medevacs and a lot of Marines in them. And that means a lot of units behind your enemy lines, especially if you can't scout them. And the placement of the overlords is going to make it so that they're incredibly well protected, and they're definitely going to know when that when the drop is en route. Speaking of a run by, those Zerglings are pushing in. Here's a fantastic wall off from Dembski. Unfortunately, the left side of that, those Zerglings are going to make it in and are very distracted by the fact that the bunker and the Marines are killing them. Do not succeed in taking out, I don't think, a single one of those workers. 1 worker down, but I don't think that that's from that harassment at all. And the Hellions have succeeded in doing nothing but stopping some of the creep spread. A lot of Zerglings are out on the field with their speed, going for the surround, succeeding in picking off 1, 2. Oh, all of these Hellions are going to go down. Finally, Dembski's getting into the unit control game, but unfortunately, they get surrounded and they do go down. And finally, Dembski is up to what he wanted to do. This is what he's been moving for this entire time, is this medevac. We see another one leaving the home base too. So a multi-drop harassment. This can prove to be incredibly effective as long as these overlords do not scout. And the overlord placement is top drawer from EchO.Todes. He's going to know that this sort of thing is happening. His Zerglings are fortunately over in the wings of the 3rd base, taking out those destructible debris. As soon as he sees that medevac, he repositions them underneath the overlord and just goes to town on that drop, which proceeded as planned. We can see another medevac moving off to the bottom left-hand side, but look at this, six Mutalisks on the way, and those Mutalisks are going to do quite a lot of damage to the medevac if they can catch them unprepared. 4 of them already out on the field dealing some significant damage to the medevacs. The Marines have exposed themselves by attacking one of the overlords, giving the Zerglings enough time to reposition, get underneath the drop, doing quite a lot of damage, but unfortunately none of the Marines went down before loading back up into the medevac. The resources lost tab showing you that EchO.Todes is definitely ahead, both by way of the economy at 73 over 57, but look at the mineral count. I mean, they're neck and neck because of so many orbitals dropping down so many mules. Oh, it looks like the Mutalisks and Zerglings found that drop, finished off those units just for the time being. Marine-wise, not that big of a loss. Significant loss in the form of medevacs. You really want to rely on your medevacs later on to heal up your entire army, and keeping those medevacs alive is paramount. And the Mutalisks out on the field, even though they're in a rather limited number, actually 10's quite a lot. they still pay for themselves by taking out those medevacs and forcing those medevacs to hang out with the anti-air that's afforded by the Marines and that main force. Dembski has succeeded in taking out the third. Also, with the revelation of the Mutalisks, he's building up some missile turrets back at home. However, EchO.Todes never intended to go for the mineral line. He doesn't have to push into the mineral line in order to make his Mutalisks cost effective. They've definitely paid, at least partially, for themselves by taking out some of those medevacs, but also taking out one of the tech labs, forcing the siege tank production to stop, at least for the time being. Siege tank tech is done. A huge swell of Banelings coming in, getting some fantastic hits on all those Marines and leaving the Zerglings and some Mutalisks enough time and just free reign on the remaining chunks of units. All those siege tanks go down. Another heavy loss for Dembski. He needed to push up and deny this third, but it really, I mean, those drones didn't even blink. They had nothing to worry about. Even though the third base is up for Dembski, because those mules are mining so very, very quickly, his natural and his main are going to be strapped for cash in just a couple of seconds. Dembski does have a nice unit composition, but he doesn't have a lot of units. He can't really deal with a full frontal force from Dembski like he's been suffering. Really nice win there, though, sniping out a bunch of those Mutalisks, evening up the resources lost tab significantly. Those Mutalisks were going to... Oh no, the Baneling hits! Fantastic Baneling hit there, killing the remaining siege tank as well as all the Marines, and again Dembski has to retreat, unable to seal the deal and take down that third. The Queens, look at this creep spread, oh my goodness, it's so much purple! It's so much purple! And the fifth, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 expansion, fifth expansion going up just to the south of the main base. We can see the Greater Spire also being built back at home while the hive is done. Still relying on those Zerglings, though. Still relying on superior creep spread and Banelings just to deal with this basic force. And that's because Dembski is being so very aggressive with his siege tanks. He hasn't had any of his siege tanks sieged up when the beginning of any fight. No fight at all. And that allows EchO.Todes to quickly reinforce to push in. So Dembski's being just too aggressive to deal with this hyper-aggression from Todes. I think if he played a little bit calmer, he might be able to be more cost-effective. But even then, he's just allowing Todes to get up the unit composition that he needs. 10 more drones on the way. Has he cleared 100? There he clears 109. My goodness. Oh no, the Baneling hits. Look at that. Zerglings sweeping in from the left side to prevent the retreat, and Stutter Step Micro from Marines, and then the Banelings just pouring in and just demolishing all those. I don't even want to look at the resources lost at neck and neck moments ago. Now heavily in the favor of EchO.Todes, especially as he gets the surround on all of the supporting structures that were coming back in. Hot pickup from the medevacs, picking up the siege tanks, and the Banelings, they do not care, flying right past all of those Marines, and the Zerglings going to town on the reinforcing Marines. Oh, quick pull from all those SCVs. Check out the resources lost. Have 14 workers killed in just a matter of seconds. And another big Baneling hit on the horizon. Oh, this SCV's turn to attack. There goes another fantastic hit. 29 workers killed total. And, I mean, we're at the 18-minute mark, and EchO.Todes is just won the game on Zergling and Baneling. Absolutely fantastic. Not using anything higher tech. Normally suicidal, but in this case, just absolutely fantastic. And look at how much money he's got banked up. And this is because Dembski was absolutely shut down on the harassment. His build was designed to buy time with the Hellions and then get the medevac out and do damage with the drops. Overlord placement was top drawer from Todes, and it completely shut down the drops. The Overlord's positioned here and then also over on the left side allowed him just to see exactly what was going on in the map. And every time he tried to do a drop, it was scouted and shut down instantly, and Dembski never recovered from that because he was relying on that. Oh, check that out. It's the reflection of the Overlord. That's really cool. ADHD. Really good play there. Really good play there. I like it a lot. I like you guys a lot. If you have a game you want me to cast, you could PM me here or on Reddit. One way or another, I will see you guys later. I am Big and Scary.